Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Absolutely jacked at the progression that we saw from the offseason program to now where we're at through 3 preseason games.
Fires, that ball's going to be caught underneath. That's Parker Washington, dives for the goal line, touchdown! A 7-yard touchdown pass from Trevor Lawrence to Parker Washington, and Jacksonville strikes first.
Pretty juiced up about the fact that we got 4 running backs who we feel very confident in. Obviously, as you think about what Liam deployed in Tampa Bay, it was a committee approach, and we look forward to bringing that to life here in Jacksonville, and making sure that everybody gets the ops that they deserve in a way that contributes to a successful outcome for us.
Running play with Tootin, tries to pick his way, broke a tackle, got it inside the 5, keeps those legs churning, they're still churning, toward the goal line, Tootin near the goal line, touchdown! He carried defenders with him into the end zone for the score.
I think when you have high demands for players and expectations and standards, it can become easier to sift through who makes the most sense moving forward and who makes the most sense for being here. Certainly excited about the group that we got in the moment, but can't say that it was with any intent to get to a certain number or percentage of roster turnover.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Jaguars Today. The Jacksonville Jaguars now with 100% less raspy-voiced general manager. Right there, James Gladstone, your guy. Nice job, Dylan Denmark, putting that together, giving us a little new outlook as we get ready to head into the season. We're a week away from the NFL season kicking off. Good morning, Tony Smith.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well, and hopefully, like a regular general manager, we'll hear from you again in January. You know,
I don't mind hearing from him. I don't. I don't need him down on the practice field with a whistle.
Right.
But I don't mind hearing from him.
Unless they make some big trade midseason,
Right.
Something happens. Generally speaking, I don't need to hear from the GM week 9, week 10.
But we like Gladstone right
do.
now, so I don't.
But I don't want a season where we're demanding to hear from the GM.
Oh, as to explain himself?
Right.
Well, that's a different story.
No call to the carpet moments
like
for the
he
GM.
wants to pop up every month and then just give a little talk about how he feels.
Sure, he'll be around.
The development is coming along. I mean, I don't know. I think you're probably right. I think he's probably going to be content to fade back into the background a little bit, and we shall see. Let's hope we're focused on a lot of victory Mondays around these parts, and then we'll be happy with whomever is talking or not talking at that point. We're always happy when Mike DeRocco is talking on Jaguars Today, and now D-Rock, Tony shunned you last week.
He did.
He boycotted you last
week.
week.
I'm not going to be there if
There's a
police is
shunning,
there,
a public shunning for you, and but we're all back together now. And Tony, you got your feed bag on? You ready for next week?
Yeah.
D-Rock's feeding us next week.
I know.
Big
wait,
loser.
is that next week?
That's next
that's right.
week,
We got
bro.
the
on the
opener.
menu.
That's right. We're
Thursday night.
Breakfast Bowl drafting next week, baby.
So our guy Stoff messaged me the other day, and he was like, "Hey, do you want any more breakfast in a can?"
No.
And I said, "I don't think the boys of Jaguars Today
Yeah,
are,
you can't set the tone like that, man.
but I wouldn't get it until I went over there, and he would give it to me, and I would take it back
So for a later date in the
for
season,
a later
maybe.
date. But it was going to be served, and I know you guys would have been like, "We ate. It was okay." Remember?
Man, they charge you for everything on the damn plane. I don't need to be carrying like 4 cans of anything. You know what I mean? Like dead weight. But, just set it down in front of us with a can opener. Have at it, fellas.
And a spoon, each of you.
It's
Boom,
breakfast,
boom, boom.
you know? It is breakfast. I should upgrade you guys. I should get some dandy breakfasts this year because they do make fantastic breakfast. So you be thinking about the menu for next week because we certainly have been, Mike DeRocco. But good to have you back in. Any surprises? Down, cut down. I don't know. We beat the cut downs down pretty good over the course of the last few days, but just to get your quick opinion on it, anything surprise you, good, bad, or otherwise?
No, not really. I expected the Jefferson and Lacey releases. They had not been good in the preseason. they're not their guys.
Right. Moon was not a surprise.
Moon is not a surprise.
To anyone not named Ian Rappaport.
No.
Soon to be under the ESPN umbrella. I don't want to take I got to take my shots at Ian now before it all comes together. And we're not contractually allowed to do that anymore. We ride. Are we going to get two shots? Are we going to get Schefter and Rappaport dueling intel at the same time?
That is, surprisingly, that is a decision that's made above me.
Let's call it Mike DeRocco to see if we can figure out how this should go.
And I wasn't even consulted on the sale and the purchase.
Come on.
I know that's hard to believe.
Wow.
But yeah, I do not know any of that stuff.
Okay.
But
so sorry to distract you from your Jaguar roster critique.
Yeah, no surprises, not at all. I mean, none of it. Trying to think. It was interesting the remake. Remaking that defensive line, going with the not surprising.
Two guys they traded for in the month of August.
And bringing in Colin Saunders,
or one
couple
guy,
of weeks ago.
Yes, Austin Johnson, not a trade, but yes,
he brought,
two guys that they brought in.
Right. So look, they're is it a good roster? I don't know yet. But is it better at certain spots this year than it was last year?
But wait a minute.
I think so.
Last year's was the best roster that the Jacksonville Jaguars had ever assembled.
We get so much mileage out of that.
I mean, how can you not? Right? I mean, it was the best, except 50% of them are gone now.
That's a pretty large turnover in 1 year. Like, I can see you turning over a roster 50% over a 2-year span, but man. But look, wasn't good. They weren't their guys. And should you expect the roster to be largely the same as last year from a 4-13 team? Absolutely not.
Nobody's saying that. Yeah. Nobody's shocked that there was massive turnover.
No, there should have been. 100%.
And any GM would have turned it over to some degree to cast the team in their own vision, if not their own image. All right, Denmark, we've already kind of heard from you. How are things in there?
Well, everything's Gucci.
Everything percolating well in there?
Open was made. I think it was because last night, before I had dinner, I got me some watermelon.
Oh, no.
And that junk was so good.
You got a ripe one?
Good.
You got a good...
I got it over the weekend.
Your scientific formula worked for you?
It did, and I've been eating it all week.
All right. D-Rock said that you look for the yellow spot on the watermelon, and the brighter the yellow, the riper it is?
Correct. You don't want the white spot. That's where it's been in contact with the ground. So if it's yellow, it means it's been in contact with the ground longer, so it's probably riper.
So you want yellow.
Correct.
Big yellow spot on your watermelon.
Yeah.
That is not what TikTok told me.
We know what TikTok told you. All right, we know. Stop putting it into the program.
This generation, man, they see it on TikTok. It is it is gospel.
That's the word for it.
Unbelievable.
Buddy. It is absolutely gospel. All right, today we're going to look past roster cutdowns. We'll still talk about a few different things with Mike DeRocco because we're getting his opinion on it here for the first time this week on Jaguars Today. But we're looking for a breakout, career type seasons. And look, the poll is heavily tilted in one direction. So you can skip right past the poll. If you are a listener, we'd love to hear from you today. Put forth a candidate that you think is likely to have their career best season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tony and I spent time trying to figure out who are the right guys to put in the poll because we want to try to make it balanced, right? If we put Trayvon Walker in here, everyone's going to vote for Trayvon. Well, everyone thinks that Trevor Lawrence is going to have the best season of his career. We put Travis Etienne in there because with all this talk about the impact of the running game and the focus on the running game, you make a draft pick for a receiver who comes in whose maybe primary calling card is his ability to be physical in that aspect of the game. And then we also put Tyson Campbell in there because I feel like he's a good player, Tony, who had a good camp. Mm-hmm. And he's never really had that all put it all together, dominant, like all pro-ish type season. Mm-hmm. I think that's still out there for him. So beyond those four, whomever you've got, if you think somebody is likely to have their career best season to date, doesn't mean it'll be the best they ever do. Let us know who you think that is today on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines at 641-1010. Same number for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can watch D-Rock in all his glory in the YouTube virtual studio All right, you can stream him on Twitter or Facebook as well and see what Mike DeRocco is up to. Not on the breaks, though, because we shut it down on the breaks for you.
Thank the Lord.
Yes, and especially the microphones, right? That's the big key right there. Or just hit us up on social media today at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at ESPN DeRocco, and at 1010XL Denmark.
We need to poo the hell out of that thing.
I feel like there's an opportunity to get some kind of watermelon-related drop in there, but that I'm sure will come at a future date. All right, we are off and rolling. We'll hear from James Gladstone as he spoke yesterday afternoon. Get his thoughts, get D-Rock's thoughts on the roster, and how good can this Jacksonville Jaguar team be in 2025? All that and more coming your way. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Enlighten your college knowledge before the games begin.
I'm RJ Saunders. We'll break down players, games, and storylines
on the Bueller Air and Plumbing College Kickoff.
Served up by Sonny's Barbecue.
Friday night at 6 on 1010XL.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we know not every injury happens on Sundays. Sometimes it's flag football, weekend yard work, or just playing with your kids. That's why we built a team of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, experts in everything from knees and shoulders to spine and sports injuries. Whether you're chasing championships or chasing your dog, we've got you. Learn more at osjax.com. That's osjax.com.
Jaguars Today Thursday, brought to you by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Playoff-bound Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are in full swing at the newly renovated VyStar Ballpark. Your home for affordable family fun. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids round the bases after Sunday games. Log on to jackshrimp.com for tickets and details. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
I insist on complete honesty.
You can chime in anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
If you have something to say to me, I wish you would just say it.
Share your opinion.
Are you nuts? What?
641-1010.
That's crazy.
Frank Frangie here. Experience professional grade at Nimnick Buick GMC, home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. This month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s or enjoy rates as low as 0% APR financing. Yes, 0%. You can't find deals like this anywhere else in Jacksonville. So shop 24/7 online at NimnickBuickGMC.com or at the showroom on Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Jacksonville is my hometown, and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
These are the last days for Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale. These are the biggest savings we could possibly offer, with everything on display discounted 40 to 50% off, ending Saturday, August 30th. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it, and the only way to do that is to give you huge deals at 40 to 50% off everything. And the sale ends this Saturday, August 30th. Diamond jewelry, colored gemstones, gold chains, everything. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Cleaning Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house Zero Resified. And right now, you can get your entire home clean from Jacksonville's Ultimate Carpet Cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckac.com.
Craving a cold one? Well, zip into one of the great gate locations you see all over town and pick up a cold Bud Light, or a Natty, or an Ultra. Maybe a 12-pack of the King of Beers, or some cold Coronas. It's all happening at your local gate convenience store. Slide on in today.
No more climbing ladders or tree shopping or untangling lights. Nope, Kuhn Flowers will take care of all of it for you this fall when you schedule their holiday home decorating team. This is Frank Frangie with 1010XL, and now is a good time to call on Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all this fall.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Mike DeRocco is protected by Lee and Kate's Glass. New look, same great service on 1010XL.
I'm going to do a public service for my man, Mike DeRocco, and he will emphatically state that this next statement is so true.
Oh, boy.
If I send you, or D-Rock sends you an invite to the Fantasy League, accept the damn invite, okay? All right, especially at the drafts tonight.
Click.
Just click yes.
Click.
I'm in. Then you can auto-draft if you want to. Do whatever, because that's on you at that point.
How many auto drafts do you get in the Jaguars Today leagues generally?
We had Garrard auto drafed a hell of a team.
Yeah.
He might have won the league. Bro, it was so disappointing. He was like, man, I had softball practice. I'm like, how about, we got 3 leagues, Dave, every year. And I love Dave. I'll tell him this to his face. I'm not saying anything behind his back. What are you doing? Because he already told me this year, oh, we're going to have softball practice on Tuesday. Well, you want to be in all 3 leagues, all right? Set up a queue, something, whatever. Yeah. Hey, that's on him.
It's all right to be in 2.
Change the rankings and stuff. So.
You can absolutely change the rankings. We do use the outstanding ESPN fantasy platform. Still free to use, which is very nice.
Yeah.
You can customize it to your scoring and all that, which we do. I got a few tweaks in there. Hope everybody checked on the scoring before next week's draft.
So now I need to.
Well, just a few things. Like this year, we're going to give a little bit extra to guys who do something as punt and kick returners. Like if you're a receiver, like Rashid Shaheed of the Saints, for instance, right? He could be their primary guy at both positions. That's important stuff. It's not like, you're going to get rich doing it. You get like 1 point per 25 yards of kickoff return. Okay. So if you have a good kickoff return, you can score a couple of points,
And that doesn't go with the defense /
that's going to, that
will go both.
That won't go to the defense unless they score the touchdown, but it'll go both ways, potentially. So, do little tweaks like that. But we're just commiserating. I finally had to twist John Osier's arm hard enough, and he accepted the invite. Like pulling teeth with that guy. It said Daniel Murphy texted me last night. He's like,
"You're going to tell the story on the air?"
It's fine. It's totally fine. Look, Tony, how much filter do I have? Not much.
Not much.
Very, very little. Mm-hmm. And Murph texts me. He's just like, "Hey, man, I'm clicking this invite, and it's saying it's expired." I'm like, "Daniel, you accepted it on Sunday, okay?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I did." So we're all good. We're 100% full up in our leagues, Jaguars Today. But D-Rock's got a league that he's the thankless commissioner of, because that's how it is, man. It's a thankless job. So
helping my wife set one up for her school.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that for like fellow teachers, or is that like for students? Or
No. It's teachers.
Okay.
It's teachers.
Just checking. Well, because
no. Yeah, I don't want any kids' emails. No.
I know a guy who's a math teacher, and he uses fantasy football to like explain.
Well, that's
kind
of cool.
Things like that, and he has his class play fantasy football every year.
Oh, that's interesting.
A lot of them, it's the first time they've ever been exposed to it. Yeah. So
I'm convinced. I started playing fantasy football because my dad was trying to teach me algebra.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'm convinced that's what was going on. He let me, I was the scorekeeper for the league in the neighborhood.
A squared plus Kenneth Walker equals should have drafted Zach Charbonnet. I don't know.
What angle is Joe Theismann's leg at?
Oh, no. At least 90 degree, brother. At least 90 degree. All right, let's get back to the task at hand, or start on the task at hand. Tim Patrick gets traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and so we talked about it yesterday, and run blocker, big body guy. His best years were several years ago. He's had 2 completely lost seasons due to injury, but he did come back healthy last year. But I found this clip, and it's been making the rounds, and I thought it was interesting. This is Brad Holmes, the general manager of the Detroit Lions, at his press conference yesterday after cutdown day, talking about the decision to trade Tim Patrick and what the Jaguars are getting in him.
For Tim, first of all, man, outstanding individual. I mean, you're talking about a pro's pro, everything that we were about. I think everything, him coming in last year, going on the practice squad, Tim is awesome. So I wish him the best. Let me get that out. The trade, he had interest, from multiple teams. And so, you always have had productive, mature dialogue with the player. And so I think it's going to work out best for him. And I think we did the best for us in terms of getting some capital back.
Yeah, I wonder if he had any influence, Tony, on his ultimate destination. Mm-hmm. Sounds like they had a lot of respect for him. Sometimes, it's – and I'm not saying they turned down a 5th-round pick for the Jaguars' 6th-round pick just because that would make Tim Patrick happy, but
probably not.
Maybe you have your choice between a handful of teams offering about the same compensation, and you let that guy have a say if he is a respected vet, plus the fact that you're sending him out of conference, right, not likely to come back and bite you. But D-Rock, in terms of the DNA of the Jaguars locker room, okay, I don't know much about Austin Johnson, but Colin Saunders is a been there, done that guy, played on championship teams. Couple of rings, great locker room guy, reputation-wise.
Yes.
Right? We're just seeing the beginnings of that here in Jacksonville. Obviously, that's that way with Tim Patrick. This team needs some of that DNA, don't they? Just some of that been there, done that, knows how to be a pro kind of guy.
100%. And let me tell you guys something that one of our writers sent to me. This guy's covered, I think, every combine or almost every combine that's existed.
Okay.
And he said Tim Patrick was one of the greatest locker room guys he's ever seen in his career here. Fantastic guy who will call guys out if they're loafing it on the practice field, will call guys out in the locker room, won't put up with any BS, make sure that guys learn how to be a pro. He said, this guy is perfect for a team that has a lot of young guys and will teach them everything that goes into being a pro. And this is the kind of guy, and Saunders is the kind of guy that they needed in the second half of 23 and the pretty much all year last year that they didn't have.
Right, to pull it together, because at 23 it was still there. Every week it was still there. Just get it done this week, and it was slipping through their fingers, and seemingly nobody would stand up and say enough is enough.
Those were the guys that Doug Peterson had in Philly, like the Lane Johnson, the Kelsey, the Malcolm Jenkins. I know I'm missing somebody, like 2 or 3 other guys.
Sure.
That's what Doug wanted. Doug wanted a locker room like that would lead, and 3 or 4 guys that would lead the locker room and make sure that kind of stuff that we just talked about was all taken care of.
But you got to assemble that tone,
correct.
Right?
And they had great leaders in there from the standpoint of lead by example, quiet leadership. And you have to have that as well. Evan, Christian Kirk, guys like that, Josh Hines-Allen, those guys are more of the quiet leadership, lead by example type. You got to have those, but you got to have the guy that's going to grab you by the face mask and go, your effort is not acceptable. Raise the level of your game. And they didn't have those guys.
Not everybody has to be that guy.
No, you don't need like 9 of them. You need like 2 or 3.
You got to have a few of them.
Yeah. But it was the clear value of Arden Key in the locker room.
Yeah.
In 2022. They did have that guy in 22 when the turnaround needed to happen, and it happened.
The founder.
Right.
Jacksonville.
The key to the city, Arden Key. But they didn't have it in 23. He was gone, and they didn't replace that in the locker room. They didn't bring it in 24, and it showed up. In the back half of 23 and all through 24, they have, like you said, they have the guys that can lead, but they're not the guys that are going to grab you and say, go, right? Like they didn't have any of that. It does feel like they've at least potentially added some of that, especially on the offensive line. It feels like they brought in a bunch of guys that have that kind of makeup along the offensive line.
Guys with an edge on that offensive line.
Give me your top 3 edgiest offensive linemen for the Jags that made the cut. Like, who's got that, in your opinion?
Hainsey's got some of that.
Okay.
For sure.
I think Milam does, but you gotta play.
Yeah, Makari is that way as well. And Milam is that way too. But, I don't know that Anton is the edgy guy. Walker Little's not the edgy guy. Ezra Cleveland has been, I was told, one of their best offensive linemen throughout the offseason.
Steady.
But he's not the edgy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to have 2, maybe 3 offensive linemen that when they're in the bottom of the pile, there's a 50-50 chance they're going to bite somebody's leg. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you got to have.
If somebody touches your quarterback even legally, that is ready to go chest to chest with somebody, right? Like, just to send that message that, there's a line that you're not allowed to cross.
There was nobody that went after Aziz Al-Shaair except for Evan Ingram.
And Bretton Strange.
Yeah, a little bit.
The tight end room.
Right.
Tight end room represented.
That should have, like, to me, I get that Makari and Hainsey weren't here last year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no animosity in their head about what happened with Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 3 offensive linemen that were here and were in that game.
Right. That game should have a big circle around it in week 3.
And Aziz, if he's in a pile with one of those offensive linemen, you would expect, someone to gnaw off a toe or something. I mean, like, honest to God, like, that's what here's the thing. That's what Baselli was.
Oh, no doubt.
And that's what he wants out of his
He was your best player, and he was your meanest player.
Correct.
Your nastiest player.
You want the guy who plays at a high level and then tells, Jason Taylor, who eventually got in the Hall of Fame, come on, I got more for you. You got nothing for me.
Right, you're about to get thrown out the club again.
Correct.
I take that back. Wydell might have been the nastiest player, but
wasn't he named the dirtiest player in the league?
He was.
At one point on one of those polls?
On the short list for sure annually. But and Dave embraces that, by the way. But Baselli absolutely had that in spades. You got to have some of that on the. And again, you have to be good. Right, you can't can't be the guy rooting as 53rd man on the bench going rah rah because nobody's going to care, nobody's going to listen. What is Austin Johnson like? Have you spent any time around him? I have not
really spent any time with him yet, so I don't know.
Okay,
but what he's a 10-year vet, 9th year. So, I mean, you kind of there is an
knows how to go about his business.
Right, you have if you last 10 years in this league, you're a pro.
Yeah,
you know what to do. You take care of yourself. You take care of your body. You are a good locker room guy because those guys the guys that aren't pros and aren't good locker room guys, they get weeded out. Yeah. They don't last 10 years in the league.
All right. Well, so we'll move on and we'll get into some more aspects of the Jags roster, including guys that we think are in position to potentially have career years here in 2025. Mike DiRocco is in 641-1010 if you want to get in on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, owned and operated by the Thompson family since, get this, way back in 1956, back when sandwiches were sold out of beer flats on the counter, unrefrigerated. Times have changed. You're not going to find them right there by the register. You're going to have to head to the cold case, and you're not going to be able to spend only 25 cents for a ham and cheese. Yes, things have changed in a big way, but Dandy's commitment to making quality food for their customers, has not changed. Whether it's a classic Cuban made with authentic Cuban bread, maybe a delicious home-style cranberry chicken salad, my favorite tuna salad, anything you like, Dandy's got something for everybody. Fast, fresh, waiting for you in the cold case and convenience stores all over town. Full breakfast menu, salads, protein packs, veggie trays, fruit cups, anything you want on the go for a quick pick-me-up. You'll find them all at daily stores with a wide selection to choose from. And after 10 years of talking about these guys, I could probably tell you the whole lineup. But I'll tell you this, when you're hungry, go out and make yours a Dandy and do it today.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Chip Davis, director of the Flounder Pounder Fishing Tournament. We are fast approaching our 16th annual tournament benefiting the Jacksonville School for Autism. With the help of our amazing community, we raised over $1.4 million the last 15 years. This year's tournament will be held at Palm Valley Outdoors on the Intercoastal Waterway. Captain's meeting is Thursday night, October 9th, and the tournament is Saturday, October 11th. I'm inviting you and your family to come out and enjoy our tournament festivities, raise some money, and support autism awareness. Special thanks to U.S. Army Recruitment Jacks for their support. Flounder Pounder for Autism 2025. See you there.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
All right, Prosser here, and I've been telling you about Chad and Sandy. They make the promise. Let me show you some of the proof. This is Nicoletta and Daniel in Panther Creek. We don't recommend this, but we bought our new house before we sold our old one. Then worst case scenario happened. Our old home failed to sell in a year with another realtor. Finally, we got smart. We hired Chad and Sandy, and they sold it in 10 days above asking price. These are the results you're getting with Chad and Sandy at chadandsandy.com. Area homes are selling, but you got to have the right people on your side. Maybe you want max price. Doesn't matter if you're buying or selling. Maybe you just want to sell right now. Well, fast, easy, and stress-free, that's what Chad and Sandy bring to you. They have this guarantee. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. They're the local real estate experts you can trust for all of your real estate needs. Go to chadandsandy.com today. That's chadandsandy.com, or call that help hotline, 904-414-6200.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Jaguar. Mike DeRocco is protected by Lee and Kate's Glass. New look, same great service on 1010XL.
It's preseason, baby.
Get the interceptions, the fumbles, the blown coverages out of the way now,
It's
right?
all good, man. You know what? We're going to hit the ground running. We already have. Next Thursday, NFL season kicks off, Philly and Dallas. I saw somebody make a prediction. This is a pretty good one, actually, that Micah Parsons will get signed that Thursday simply so Jerry can make the pregame show all about that as opposed to them celebrating Philadelphia winning the Super Bowl. And, you know, I know that sounds crazy, but if he had the choice to sign him the day before or that day, you don't think he'd do that day for that reason? I do. You know, if they agreed to terms next Monday, he'd be like, hold on, Micah. Let's hold on for 3 days, right? We're going to keep this all. This is airtight. We'll even sign it. It's done. But let's not announce it for 3 days. I could see that from Jerry. Absolutely.
That would be a pretty good, FU to the Eagles. For sure.
It would, right? And that's kind of what I'm sure in part Jerry is about. So good for him. What did Josh Hines Allen apparently getting a lot of drug tests here in the offseason, huh?
Yeah, he tweeted at about 10:30, so about 5 minutes ago. I've been drug tested so much this offseason and now preseason, and the season hasn't even started yet. At this point, I could buy the league a new randomizer myself. And he tagged the NFL in the tweet.
All right.
That's fantastic.
There you go. Seeing this from Field Yates. Thank you to who was the account? Chris Regan put this in front of my vision here. Your cohort, Field Yates. There are a number of players that had multiple teams put in claims for them yesterday. As James Gladstone, we're going to hear from him momentarily, alluded to, hey, we couldn't trade up in the waiver order, right? Sometimes that's just how it goes. But apparently Bo Braid was who I guess the Giants claimed. He's a safety, and the Jags and the Giants both put in a claim for him. So there's one guy that they would, and keeping in mind, they claim anybody, you have to make a roster spot for him because they have to go on the 53. So there you have it. Disappointing that Ransaw is going to miss the season, Mike, obviously.
Yeah, and apparently there was a chance he could come back, but it would be so late in the season that, he's still going to need, he can't just come off IR, practice 3 days, and then go out there and play.
Right.
I mean, he would need a couple of weeks to get.
So he had to have surgery, right?
Yes.
They'd hoped, they put him in a boot. They had hoped that would fix whatever it was. They took it out and
didn't fix.
Didn't work. So they had to have the surgery. So they've known that this was going to go down. And that's kind of part of the, the folly of trying to project the 53-man roster. We don't have that info. Jalen, if you had told me that one was going on short-term IR and one was going to be out for the season, Jalen McLeod would have been out for the season because we just haven't seen him. But obviously he's a lot closer to returning than Ransaw would have been. Tony, why don't we turn our attention to Mr. James Gladstone yesterday? And overall, they didn't get anyone in the waiver process, although apparently maybe they might have put in a claim. But what about the lack of movement or lack of additions from James Gladstone's perspective? Yesterday, this was James Gladstone, general manager of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Jimmy Stones speaking now.
Oh, man, I'm sure it would have been fun for our fan base to see some claims come through. Obviously, a little different than the draft. You don't have the opportunity to move up in the claiming order. But nonetheless, we're really happy with the way that the 53-man roster currently stands.
All right, look, it goes to show you, they didn't sit around and wait to see who became available. They went out and proactively got guys, right? We talked about the trades that they made, the veteran additions that they made late in the process. And, you do spend your time with these guys, Tone, and these guys are on the 90-man roster for a reason, right? You think they can fit into your, quote, ecosystem and your culture that you're trying to create. So if you weren't one of those guys, you probably weren't going to stick around on the 90-man roster for long anyway.
No, yeah. We know you get the 53-man roster. It doesn't mean it's set, right? Like, you got to wait a day to see what's going to happen. It was unsure for a couple of those guys. It wound up being unsure for one, after they made the Tim Patrick trade. So they did make one more roster move, and Gladstone was asked about that yesterday, the rationale behind the Tim Patrick trade.
Really excited about the addition of Tim Patrick. He is somebody that from afar, both Liam, myself, the coaching staff, the scouting staff has really appreciated his game. We talk about the idea of being mentally and physically tough, like I just pointed to, and I use the phrase intangibly rich a lot. I think anybody that does their homework on Tim Patrick understands that he's never had an easy path. He's always had to overcome obstacles. And the only thing that he communicated to us after this decision was made, that he's ready to earn every op that lies in front. And when he's got that hunger that he can provide, obviously, from a veteran presence to a room who definitely has, up until Diami, a lot of youth, right? A lot of inexperience in comparison. And the idea of building out a basketball team with not only the wide receiver room, but multiple position groups, that can be very helpful, right? Not the same exact genre across the group. That can be something that when you talk with Liam, being able to artfully design plays to tap into those skill sets is something that he gets creative juices from. And so that was something that was really excited about the addition of Tim, knowing that he brings something that we don't currently have in the space.
Yeah, big guy. I mean, Mike, you don't spend a draft pick on a guy who, by the way, doesn't play special teams, hasn't for several years, and nor should he, right, with the injury history at this point. Early on, like a lot of guys, his first year he played a lot of special teams reps, hasn't played any in recent years, part because he didn't play 2 out of the last 3 years, but didn't last year in Detroit. So he's not coming here to do that, all right? He's coming here to elevate the culture, be a big-bodied red zone weapon, be a good blocker in the run game as well. But he's got to be active on game day, doesn't he?
I would think so, just because they have 5 But you could argue they have 4 because Travis isn't going to be on the other side. And, his availability for what he does on defense could impact his availability for what he does on offense, just in terms of, conditioning or what they want to do, or, maybe he gets banged up in a play and has to miss a series or so, which happens to literally everybody in the league at one point or another. I'm not saying the kid's fragile, which is what everybody seems to think.
He's 100% right now, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, yeah.
For the
which
record.
People thought was a surprise, and I'm like, why would y'all think that, or thought that was like a no-duh? And I'm like, well, he's missed the last 2 preseason games, albeit the last one, every starter missed.
Yeah.
And he's missed like 5 practices in a row. So there was a chance.
Caleb Ransell's week to week, and then he's out for the year. You don't know. They don't have to be specific and, here's the word, truthful, really, in the preseason.
Forthcoming, I think, is what they would
That's
prefer.
a better word for it. You're right. That is a better word for it, right? They don't have to give you any more than they choose to give you.
Right. That stops Wednesday, this coming Wednesday.
Correct.
Injury reports are out. Yes.
Yeah. Mike's putting them on notice there.
Well, it does. I mean, everywhere around the league.
My man is out there the other day, and he's going through like bylaws with a certain member of the Jaguars staff. I don't name names here, but he was like, look, here is this the schedule does this jibe with what? Well, this is not a bad thing, D-Rock.
Right.
You're attentive to detail. That's all.
Sure. Yes.
I think D-Rock wants me to move off this subject. Let's come back. More James Gladstone. Jags made a couple of roster moves, adding some guys to the practice squad as well. We'll tell you about them when we come back on the other side as well. That just coming down in the last 10 minutes or so. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, and Dylan Denmark. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. 1010XL brings you the orange and blue.
Wow, wow, wow!
The Gators grit their teeth against the Sharks of Long Island University. Saturday at 7 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
Lee Bryce. What you know about that tour? Saturday, September 13th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. With special guests Ashley Cook and Lewis Bryce. Award-winning country sensation Lee Bryce. On sale now at AXS.com. Don't miss Lee Bryce Live.
Jaguars Today, Thursday, is brought to you by
Cannons of Jacksonville.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Summer turns the corner, and we prepare for fall with a new season of college football. 1010XL's College Football Kickoff Week is cranked up by AA Automotive on Richard Street. Family run since 1954.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
How do you know that your roof is ready for the next big storm? You don't. That's why you need to call me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We'll assess your roof and fix those issues before they become storm disasters. Visit BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roofing quote.
License number CCC 1328006. Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Football season is back, baby. Hicken here, and I know I'm excited to get back to watching some ball over the weekend. But with the fun comes responsibility. Taking care of your skin while outside, extremely important. We know it feels like 100 out there, and that sun is blazing. Make sure you bring the screen while loading up all that tailgate. It's simple. Protect your skin. It's the Sunshine State. To help you protect your skin, Beaches Dermatology is here. I've been going to them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Fall is here. The air is crisp. Football is on, and the perfect backyard atmosphere starts with a high-quality fireplace from CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Hey, it's Joe C. Imagine nights by the fire, cheering on your team, surrounded by friends and family. CSS can transform your outdoor space into the ultimate game day destination. Stylish, warm, and built for memories. With several wood, gas, and electric options, let CSS make your backyard the best seat in the house. Visit CSSFireplaces.com.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
1010XL, presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. It's a Mike DeRocco Thursday on Jaguars Today, opened by Lee and Kate's Glass on 1010XL.
D-Rock in the house. Everybody's spirits are elevated. We love all our rotating
By the end
co-hosts.
of the season, your cholesterol is going to be elevated if I have to keep buying breakfast.
This is true. Like, somebody's buying it, right?
We need to poo the hell out of that thing.
Are we going to get a lot
The best
extra
part
honey?
about that clip, I'm sorry, is at the end is like your laugh. You're starting to that's it right there. Right there.
That's me.
I've never heard him laugh like that on the air.
That wheezy old smoker's laugh right there.
Oh, my gosh. It's fantastic. I told my wife that story, and she's like, you said what? And I was like, I'd Winnie the Pooh the hell out of that thing. And she goes, you did not. And I'm like,
still gets
all
it.
you got to do is listen every Thursday now. It's going to be played like 48 times every Thursday.
Like Holiday's got like 6 of those, Tony. Every time I hear it, I crack up laughing every single time. D-Rock's got one for sure. But somebody did. I told you, somebody got a spot in one of the Jaguars Today fantasy leagues because they referenced that, and I put them in your division. So
love it.
There you go.
Love it.
Yep.
I'm going to Winnie the Pooh the hell out of that guy. Don't you
Well,
worry.
he said he's going to Winnie the Pooh the hell out of whatever league we put him in. All right, let's get to Trevor Lawrence, see if he can Winnie the Pooh the hell out of the National Football League this year, whatever that means for you out there. Here's James Gladstone, who is jacked about Trevor's progression this offseason.
Absolutely jacked at the progression that we saw from the offseason program to now where we're at through 3 preseason games and on the horizon of the regular season, because obviously going through so many different schemes throughout the early portion of his career, finding stability, finding confidence in understanding the intent of one play to the next, the operation, takes some time. And so Trevor was doing a phenomenal job operationally throughout the course of the offseason program and really being consistent in doing what was explicitly asked. Throughout the course of training camp, he began to test everything and began to push the limits, not just to do what was asked, but go beyond that. And that was the exciting thing that you began to see sort of take shape and taking riskier throws and actually threading the needle in a way that was jaw-dropping, right? And so that was the exciting progression from, let's call it the off-season program, to now where we are at the end of training camp.
Threading the needle to the degree that it was jaw-dropping at
I
times.
like listening to James Gladstone talk, partly because He uses words that I have not heard in other GM or head. He just uses. I'm always listening for what's the word that we had. What do we have? Horizon in that one. Jaw dropping, jacked. I mean, it's fantastic. I love listening to him talk. I'm just like, what's he going to say?
Jaguar fans agree, I think, Tony. Here's the question, Tony. Trevor Lawrence, 2022. Had his best completion percentage, completed 2/3 of his passes, had his most yards he ever threw for, 4,113, most touchdowns, 25, fewest interceptions considering the ratio he had 11 last year, but he didn't play as much, right? So he only had 8 that year. Quarterback rating of 92 looked like an ascendant star, right? Yeah. Does Trevor Lawrence have that season or better in 2025, in your opinion?
I think it's going to be around that kind of season, would be my guess. I think there's the potential for it to be better. I'll say, going into training camp, that the thing that I was most looking forward to seeing was what does Liam Cohen being in control of the offense actually look like once we get into games, and what will that be? And in the 2 preseason games where the starters did play, throughout those entire games, there was a rhythm. Whatever offense was on the field, there was a rhythm to what they were doing on that side of the ball. It is now the thing that I'm most excited about for the 2025 season is just Liam Cohen being the guy that's going to be in charge of the offense the whole season. I think his play calling, his knack for that is going to give him a chance week to week. I don't think it all has to be Trevor. I think he's going to give Trevor opportunities, obviously, but I do think there's something where I think even towards the top of my expectations for Trevor is more that 2022 season, right? I think the potential for him is to go well beyond that. But I think expecting all that to happen in 1 year is a little too much to ask for me. But I think he's going to have a season that's at least on par with the best season that we've seen Trevor have here.
If I'm betting here, I bet he goes over the 41-13 in yards. Okay, I'm presuming he plays, let's say at least
every
16 games, right? 16 out of 17, right? He goes over the 4,100 yards. He goes over the 25 touchdowns. I don't think he matches or goes under the 8 interceptions necessarily because it is a new offense. And there are going to be times when, it doesn't click and you've got a lot of newness in terms of the pass catching core. And, so.
For the pass catchers too, yeah.
So there's that. And the completion percentage, I'd be like, that's kind of like a coin flip to me. If he has a 65% season, that's a pretty good year. It doesn't top his 66.3. So I think he's going to be very close on that. I think he'll top the yards and the touchdowns. I don't think he'll have fewer than 8 interceptions this year is my guess.
For me, I think that's the baseline. That 2022 is sort of the baseline of what I expect.
At least be there.
Yeah, because if he's not there, then you're going into the offseason with the legitimate questions of, well, is this guy the guy? I mean, that's a solid NFL season, what he had in 2022. Okay, but it's not elite quarterback numbers.
No.
And that's what you have expected him to be. That's what you've paid him to be. That's what you believe he's going to be.
Well, it was enough to get him an MVP vote.
Right.
Year.
So he's got to hit that. And I think he will, because he's had 3 drives with that first team offense. Mm-hmm. And at each drive I've watched, his feet aren't fluttering around, no happy feet. He seems more decisive. He's driving the football. Like against the Saints, if you take away the dumb fumble inside the red zone when he tried to toss it to Tank and he should have just ate it, you take that away. If he just hands that ball off the Tank, nothing happens. It's a no gain. I still would say that Trevor pretty much had a perfect preseason. But overall, he was, I think, 8 of 10 against the Saints, and he had 5 receivers, spreading the ball around. I mean, I think Liam will be very, very good for him in terms of just how much he grows or will have grown from over the past 2 or 3 years.
By the way, I mentioned Jags made a couple of roster moves, adding a couple guys to the practice squad. Most recently, both with the Miami Dolphins. Eric Ezekanma is a wide receiver, 6'2", used to play for Texas Tech back in the day, 6'2", about 210, so a little bit bigger,
big guy.
bodied guy. And Matt Dickerson seems like kind of a tweener defensive tackle, defensive end. He's like 6'4", 6'5", 300 pounds. Listed as a D end when he played in Miami. Listed as a D tackle prior to that. So probably has a little bit of positional versatility. He's a little bit older. He's going to turn 30, I think, this season. In November. So, but hey, continuing to churn the bottom of the roster, and that includes the practice squad because that's all part of it. For James Gladstone and company, trying to raise the floor, D-Rock. All right, more from James Gladstone on the way back. Do you think that Trevor Lawrence has the best season of his career? A lot of you do, compared to the options in today's poll, which were Travis Etienne, Trayvon Walker, and Tyson Campbell. Is there another guy out there that you think is an even better bet to have a career year? Let us know. 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Winters are mild.
All the time?
All the time?
Summers are hot.
The beach.
And everything in between is awesome.
Amazing, isn't it?
1010XL. This is the Duval life.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast. But Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
You're locked into Jaguars Today Thursday with Cannons of Jacksonville.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Clean and Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house Zero Resified. And right now, you can get your entire home clean from Jacksonville's ultimate carpet cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res. It's more than 100 yards of grass. It's 100 years of tradition.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Friday Night Lights.
Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Summer's winding down, and we know you want to enjoy what's left of it. But before you celebrate this Labor Day weekend, plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has branched off from on-road to off-road. Give us the latest on what they've got.
They have. They've got the 250 and the 450. Rick Carmichael designed these bikes himself, and they are bad to the bone.
So you're talking about a really cool effect from a bike off-road that Triumph had on-road forever.
It is, and it's out there winning races, and it is fun to ride.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville, their showroom on Atlantic near Regency, or online on their Facebook page.
Coatings, your floor's missing piece. Premium flooring, take our advice. Home business, affordable price. Driveways, pool decks, garage doors, beautiful patios, and more to explore. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Kuhn Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is Max with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all.
What NFL stadium has been used the longest by an NFL team?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Green Bay's Lambeau Field has been used by the Packers since 1957, a span of over 60 years.
Southern Oak Insurance.
Our family protecting yours.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I-9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
This is your local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. The Jacksonville Jaguars have signed defensive lineman Matt Dickerson to the practice squad. The team announced today Dickerson has appeared in 40 regular season games with the Titans, Falcons, Chiefs, and Miami Dolphins. He has totaled 42 tackles, 3 being for loss, and 3 quarterback hits in his career. Right now, 84 degrees at 11:01, time in 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Mike DeRocco is protected by Lee and Kate's Glass. New look, same great service on 1010XL.
And also there's a competitive advantage to not knowing what side of ball he's going to be deployed on fully, if that's half, if that's a mixture. All those sorts of things can vary from one week to the next, and I think the fact that that exists is certainly a hand that we'll keep close.
That's Jimmy Gladstone right there talking about our guy, Travis Hunter, and, keeping it close to the vest on how they plan on deploying him. It still amuses me. I think that's probably the right word. Amuses me. Travis Hunter, he can't do this both ways because he's been sidelined for a week of practice or whatever, right? And even though they've said it's an abundance of caution, he could play. If they're playing Carolina last week, he'd be on the field.
It's probably an abundance of caution because they're going to use him this way, right?
Right, exactly.
Like, I think one feeds the other.
Absolutely.
So, we're not going to expose him more than we have to right now. We know how much we're going to want to use him once we get into the season.
But, to think that the Jags, with a new brain trust, opportunity to plant their flag for the direction that they're going, had months to consider this, gave up what they gave up, talked so glowingly about the idea of him changing the way the game of football is played. I mean, we're not just talking about, hey, we're going to mix him in a little. No, there's a fundamental change to how you're going to have to look at certain players and what they're capable of doing, right? This is not as James Gladstone said, be bold. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Right? You want a first-round pick? Don't worry about it. I'm uniquely qualified to handle that situation. F them picks part 2, 2.0, whatever.
F them picks East.
That you have pundits out there saying, the Jags need to now just consider playing him as a corner. Because look what? You're telling me that corners who just play corner don't get hurt? Mm-hmm. Or wide receivers don't get hurt? I mean, look at Chris Godwin, right? I mean, it can happen to anybody on any play.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. But to think that they really think that they've spent all this mental effort and draft capital and training and planning down to the second what he's doing on a daily basis, then they're just going to go, you know what?
Yeah.
They're probably right. Let's just play him as our slot corner.
I don't get it if you have any kind of love for the league. Right? Like, if he was on a team in the division, right, and he was an opponent of yours, I may talk about him that way because I don't want to see this plan be successful. But when it's just a league story, like from the big, broad perspective, why would you be pulling for anything but Travis Hunter being a two-way star?
I'm telling you, Tone, I think it's...
it's crazy.
I think when you hear the active players question, I think it's because it makes them... Travis Hunter can do this. How impressive is it that I'm just doing it on one side of the ball, right? I mean, it's still impressive.
There's big egos in the league.
There are huge egos in the league. Oh, he's not. Look at me. I'm a great player at one of these positions. I'm here to tell you. He can't be me and something else. well, that your little fragile ego might have to get used to it. I'm not saying he will be.
Yeah.
But I do think that they're trying to tamp that down because and they're going to highlight, oh, see, he got nicked up. Oh, look, he only played. And then I heard somebody say, well, they can't play him 80 snaps a game. I'm like, 80?
Yeah.
Like, that's low, right? Yeah. Ultimately, don't you think 80? What do you think?
My expectation for him is somewhere around 80.
Okay.
At first.
At first, right? But like at his peak, he's rolling. We're in week 10. He's rolling. He's been healthy.
And a lot of it depends. Hey, is Tyson banged up? Is Jordan Lewis banged up?
That factors in,
De'Ami Brown banged up? Was Parker Washington got 7 catches instead of the 50 that everyone thinks he's going to catch in the first 3 weeks?
I just
kind
think,
of thing.
He routinely in college played 110 plus.
Yeah.
You know, like
and the college game is at a faster pace than the NFL.
And at altitude. And I get it. Bigger, stronger, faster. There are pluses and minuses to being able to achieve that on both. It just amuses me that people think that the Jags are just going to wake up tomorrow and decide, he'll be a good third receiver.
I think part of it is because it is the Jags.
Maybe.
If this were Andy Reid.
Brilliant.
Or,
if anybody can do it.
Can you imagine what they're going to do?
Yeah, if this were Philly and, or oh my God, what if this were McVay and Les Snead?
Yeah.
They'd be like, I don't know how the league's going to work. I don't know how the league's going to recover from this.
Right, they're going to have to catch up with them.
Like, I do expect that you're going to see it. I'm already seeing it in high school. Like, I know a lot of kids play both ways anyway in high school, but I'm seeing it at bowls. Naeem Burrows, their best player. He is a wide receiver. He's going to Clemson. He is a 4-star recruit going to Clemson. He's a senior this year. He's playing safety.
And had he not done that in the past?
No. He had a pick and a touchdown last week in week 1. I think there are kids all across the country that are seeing what Travis Hunter is doing. I think it's going to have an impact on college football now that there are going to be kids that are saying, let me try both. Let me try both. And I think the door is being open to it because of the success of a guy like Travis Hunter. I don't know anyone that's really pulling against it working in the National Football League. Like, just as a football fan, I want to see it work. It's awesome.
Look, not everyone can do it. We don't even know how well Travis Hunter is going to do it. But to think that the Jags are not going to press forward with this. They're going to change like 3 weeks into the preseason. They're going to go.
We just wasted April, May, June, July, and August.
Our whole team-building philosophy was centered around this, right? So how has Liam Cohen handled this situation in the eyes of James Gladstone?
Well, when there's an opportunity to be bold. He don't flinch either, So, no, he's jacked about that and I won't speak for him. But look, we're not going to just do it some cookie cutter approach. We're looking to gain an edge, and I think we'll try and apply that in every way that we operate. Obviously, some of the dynamics that you just surfaced, they're real, but at the same time, they can provide us with a real edge, and we look forward to trying to bring that to life.
I had asked him. I said, "Hey." That was my response to my question. I was like, hey.
Great question, by the way.
Yeah, I think it was. Hey, so you've told Liam you got to fix Trevor. You got to figure out how to use Travis Hunter, which no one has played on both sides of the ball regularly since maybe 81, Roy Green. And you got to win games too while you're learning to be a first-time head coach. I'm like, that's a pretty heavy ask, to be honest with you. And that's actually my story that's running on Sunday. So a little preview right there. How about see how I did that? A little preview.
Very nice.
ESPN.com.
Call it a teaser in the business.
Yeah.
But that was the most animated he was in the press conference. He don't flinch either. And I was like, all right. I mean, look.
Right. He's basically we got a pair and we're dropping them on the table.
I applaud their direction because operating normally hasn't done anything for this franchise in the last 2 decades.
Got that right.
So take a shot.
Break the mold.
Try something different.
100%.
That's honestly, I don't blame Shad for hiring Urban Meyer because it was a different approach. It was something else to do. We're going to try something different. I'm not going to go get an NFL retread.
Certainly different.
And when you try new things, some of them don't work. and some of them don't work spectacularly badly.
Some of them,
and that was
you might have an indication that they might not work for very well-established reasons. And
right. Well, two months into the deal, you have the some kind of indications that this was a bad idea.
Right.
But you're going to ride it out.
We don't need to go down that
you're going to
hole.
ride it out, and that's what I think they're going to do this year with Gladstone and Cohen and.
Oh, they're going to ride it out for a while.
Yeah.
Right? This team has to stop the revolving door of turnover.
Correct.
And I mean, they're pot committed for the next 3 years, including this year, to this vision. Right. The whole collective. And I think that includes Trevor Lawrence, everything, right? They're pot committed to a direction of the franchise, and it's going to have to, play out and see. And there'll be adjustments along the way.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, just a perfect ascension for this team, but I like the attitude. I think Jaguar fans are going to love that. And I think they already do what they've heard from Gladstone and Cohen, but they have a particular affinity for Gladstone because he's not the last guy. Let's be honest, right?
No
All
doubt.
right. Let's come back. We'll get more from James Gladstone on the other side. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Mike DeRocco in studio with us here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL, he's Jacksonville's official tape checker.
I'm Jeff Lodman.
And he tells you about it Tuesdays during football season on Jaguars Today. Inspected by. Go to the pros Napa know-how. JacksNapaAutoCareGroup.com on 1010XL.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Jaguars Today Thursday is hitched to Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Drafted by the Jags, built by the Gators, Chris Doran joins the drill with Dan and Jeff to talk college football with you. Tuesday mornings at 7:20 on 1010XL. Protected by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah.
Josie for Hard Rock Bet, and I know you've been waiting for this. College football is back with massive matchups to kick off the season in style. The only thing better than hearing your favorite school's fight song is the sound of cha-ching. Hard Rock Bet makes it easy to place your bets so you can feel like the big man on campus. Download the Hard Rock Bet app or log on hardrock.bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Football is a game of inches, and at Front Runners Tap House, every inch counts. Catch every big play on their massive 396-inch giant television. The ultimate game day experience is waiting for you at Front Runners Tap House inside the Community First Igloo.
When your plumbing backs up, your septic's acting shady, or your AC quits on a 95-degree day, who are you going to call? Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Don't take just our word for it. Here's what real customers are saying about their experience with our company.
Megan in the office was so helpful and polite. Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference. For 100 years, service you can trust. Lee and Kate's glass, depend on us. Glass solutions to meet your needs.
These are the last days for Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale. These are the biggest savings we could possibly offer with everything on display discounted 40 to 50% off ending Saturday, August 30th. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it, and the only way to do that is to give you huge deals at 40 to 50% off everything. And the sale ends this Saturday, August 30th. Diamond jewelry, colored gemstones, gold chains, everything. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
How do you know that your roof is ready for the next big storm? You don't. That's why you need to call me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We'll assess your roof and fix those issues before they become storm disasters. Visit BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roofing quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Mike DeRocco is protected by Lee and Kate's Glass. New look, seen great service on 1010XL.
All right, why don't we do this, Tony, before we get back into the James Gladstone presser from yesterday and take a look at what's happening with the 31 less essential clubs around the NFL.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
The Indianapolis Colts say they do not plan to trade quarterback Anthony Richardson, have not given up on him yet, according to the team's general manager, Chris Ballard. The Colts claimed former Jaguars linebacker Chad Muma on waivers yesterday. San Francisco claimed former Jaguars defensive tackle Jordan Jefferson on waivers. Kansas City wide receiver Rashee Rice has accepted and will serve a 6-game suspension to start the season. Carolina offensive tackle Ikem Ekwonu had his appendix removed on Sunday. It's considered day-to-day going into the team's prep for Week 1 here in Jacksonville. Las Vegas quarterback Aiden O'Connell underwent wrist surgery. He will miss the 2025 season. The Baltimore Ravens have signed safety Kyle Hamilton to a 4-year, $100.4 million contract extension with $82 million in guaranteed money. Miami has signed linebacker Matt Judon to a 1-year, $6 million deal. Dallas outside linebacker Micah Parsons is seeking a second opinion after an MRI on his back this weekend came back clean, according to head coach Brian Schottenheimer. And the NFL has suspended free agent defensive back John Johnson for the first 3 weeks of the season.
All right, thank you, Tone. This one from Ray on Twitter. Perhaps the discussion on air. We're talking about Trevor and his completion percentage and where that might land this year. Perhaps it's missing the new screen game that Cohen brings. It gives Trevor a lot more high percentage completion passes. Just a thought. Well, that is one aspect of it, but they also want to run the hell out of the ball to suck people up to take shots down the field.
Yeah, they want to throw the ball downfield. You don't have Brian Thomas Jr. running 9, 10-yard routes all the time. They want to take shots down the field.
Right. Brian Thomas, De'Ami Brown, Travis Hunter, they're all going to factor into that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a good point, and there will be some easy completions, but every team has those checkdowns to some degree, right? So I'm just, look, I think the overall, again, I'm very comfortable with where I stand. Career highs in yards and touchdowns, about the same with his top completion percentage, and probably does not set a new low in interceptions. That's my guess where things stand. Ray, appreciate the feedback, though. Certainly. Let's get back to James Gladstone here, talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the process of putting this roster together. Of course, they keep there's debate. Danny Strigo, B.J. Green, will they keep one of those guys? They end up keeping both, a couple of undrafted free agent pass rushers. And here's Gladstone's thought on the duo.
I think as you guys followed us throughout the preseason, it became abundantly clear that those two guys were making a dent in real live performances, and that was the case in our practice settings, and both showing up not only on the phase of defense but also special teams, right? And to find players at that position who can contribute on special teams isn't always easy. And so they're made of the right stuff. They committed themselves to the process, accepted the coaching, and it's panned out. And really excited for both those guys, excited for that room and really the outlook there, and really happy with how it unfolded, pointing back to our coaches and scouts working in tandem to really get those deals done.
Football cliche 101. Can't have enough pass rush. Well, it's a cliche for a reason. It's generally true. D-Rock, Tony, and I were kind of trying to figure out who doesn't get a jersey on game day, right? You can have 8 offensive linemen and have 48 active if one of them is like the emergency offensive lineman. So we figure out of 9, one of those guys won't dress. What do you think for Green and Strigo? And will one or both get a jersey on game day? And is there a leader in the clubhouse? Like, who would you vote? Like, if one of them gets the jersey on opening day, which one would it be?
Ooh. I think Green, maybe slight lead in that.
That's what I thought, but I really don't know. Completely different body types.
Right. Well, and Gladstone did mention yesterday, he's like, we got some guys that like are listed at defensive ends, but can play inside, and inside guys that can also, positional flexibility is the buzzwords.
But I think he's talking about like Trayvon and Smoot, guys like that.
Strigau's a little bit like that too.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah.
He's not as, I mean, he's bigger, certainly, than Green is, but he's not, I don't know how I'd feel about him playing on the interior, Tone.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
I think,
third and long.
Like, likely the decision's going to be made on which one of them gives them a little more punch in special teams, right? Like, just which of those guys do they feel more comfortable in that role?
Do you know who has the edge there?
I do not.
Yeah, so we'll find out. Week 1. We'll find out if one or both of them are active.
I mean, neither one may be active, and it's a lot of wasted breath. But
we do not know. And speaking of versatility, we know they made it a priority to switch the culture on the offensive line, right? They brought in half a dozen guys up front for the offensive line here in Jacksonville, and Gladstone was asked about the versatility they've added to that group yesterday.
The thing that jumps out across the offensive line is the versatility, obviously, with the fact that you got guys who can swing from left to right, guard to tackle, guard to center. It's a great group, and nobody's pigeonholed to a singular spot with that in mind. And so that obviously gives you the luxury on game day to feel like you're not pigeonholed and that you're not going to be tight. And so the fact that we ended up addressing that position group so heavily throughout the offseason gave us a lot of confidence, a lot of competition, and that obviously led to a lot of growth. And we're really jacked about the progression that we saw from a number of the guys returning, a number of the guys that we added. And then obviously we were able to make some moves and leverage that depth through some of the recent trades.
All right, is jacked now the free square on the Gladstone press conference bingo card? Because that's at least 3 answers that he is jacked about.
Yeah, but intangibly rich though.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It's getting close, Jack.
Because he doesn't drop intangibly rich as much. I mean, that's become a Gladstone classic.
That's maybe like a January, February, March, April.
Right.
And then now as we move into the season, jacked is the
ecosystem and intangibly rich are much more draft season and free agency team building stuff. Yes. Now that we've done that, we're jacked about the work we've done.
Right.
Which is nice. Why don't we get to today's 10-10 take?
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
From the category in the column of like this offense is going to go primarily how the offensive line allows it to go. And versatility is a wonderful thing because if you feel like, hey, we're not going to lose much. If we lose a guy, we can move some guys around, plug and play, and that's great. But I kind of would rather have you say, wow, we got a dominant 5 here, and I hope we don't lose anybody. And it's great that we have this versatility, but I don't know if we know what the top end is. It's versatile. You're all kind of interchangeable, but at what level, right? Because the offensive line hasn't been good enough, and maybe it will be better. Cleveland has played seemingly his best football this offseason or put himself in the best position he's been in going into a season or the best we felt about him as a Jag. But these are not games. And you got a couple of new guys that we're excited about. Let's not forget Haynes. He got benched in Tampa last year. I'm hopeful, right? McCary's very versatile. Does that mean he's great at any one thing? And the tackles are somewhat... they tried some different combinations. Nobody broke through. Eventually, Tony, they went with the 5 that we all presumed it would be after free agency and the draft was completed. And I just hope that the upper end level of what they are. It's great to have that consistency, but be consistent at a better level than they've been. This needs to be a top 15 or better offensive line, in my opinion. I mean, that doesn't mean if they're 16, they can't win. You know what I mean? But
be an average offensive line.
Average or better.
Right. That is the lowest you should be. You win a lot of games in the NFL with an average offensive line. It's not. That's not a bad thing, especially where they've been.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'd like them to be dominant in one area.
Well,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
sure,
Like even if you're average
Like-
as a pass blocking unit, but you're dominant as run blockers in conjunction with the backs you have.
Better run blockers this year.
And I try
That's what
to,
it seems like.
Judge it based on what was available. In an offseason. It wasn't an offseason where a bunch of premier offensive linemen really became available, right? So it's not like they had a bunch of names that they could go get. Now, as I talked about, I think on Monday here on the show, they were willing to pay a premium on a couple of guys for their reasons, right? They paid the premium on Hainsey. I don't think he was getting that money anywhere else. He was getting it here because he's been in the offense before, and they needed that kind of thing on the field. They were willing to pay a bit of a premium on McCary because of his versatility, right? So they were willing to pay up at those couple of positions, and in my eyes, the open competition between McCary and Adoga was eye-opening. To me, it was, so Adoga's as good as McCary. Okay. So that informs my opinion on how good a player McCary is, or Adoga's taken a big step forward in his career now. Like, it's one of those two things, but my guess is more the versatility of McCary is what's coming into play here for him to be here in Jacksonville. I'm okay with them going that direction with it, but I think it should color your opinion on how improved they are, like where you think the actual upper reach of where the offensive line can get in 2025 will be. I don't think it can be as low as it has been the last couple of years, but I don't think it's going to be reaching into the top 10, kind of offensive lines in the league. But I think it can be good enough to not get in the way of what they want to do offensively.
That competition, Mike, though, also speaks to, all right, we gave McCary a bunch of money. We presume he'll be the starter, but if somebody else outplays, and he did get hurt, but Adoga, I mean, they were raving about Adoga at one point in camp. Like, Adoga was like the hot offensive lineman out of everyone on that roster in the eyes of some members of the Jaguars organization. And so it does speak well to, hey, I'm not just going to put a guy in there. There's always going to be some of that, right? Like, if it comes down to a vet or your draft pick, the draft pick's going to have the edge, all else being equal. But it's got to be equal. So maybe Adoga needs to be better than as good. He needs to be clearly better. But if he is, I think what they're saying is, okay, we're not going to go, well, we paid this guy this. Well, no, all right, you know what? New set of circumstances, and you got to play the best players, and I think that's a positive for the team.
Yeah, and don't forget, Adoga was at right tackle a lot in the spring. So
he had never played right guard.
They have 3 or 4 guys that they really feel like there's not much of a drop-off, if any at all, if they've got to move. Like, if Walker Little got hurt and they moved Anton to left, they feel pretty good about Adoga or McCary that would be fine at right tackle. Maybe not at the level of Anton that they view Anton at, maybe just slightly below, but they feel like they'd be fine.
And that's good.
Right.
And that's a good thing to have, but it's like if, let's say, just picking a random number here, you're the 22nd best offensive line, 23rd best offensive line, and, hey, we're not going to have any drop-off if these guys come in. Well, that's okay. Well, what difference does it make? Because it's not good enough to begin with, right?
Do you think they're better? See, I think right now they're better interiorly on that offensive line
than they are at tackle.
Well, than they were last year interiorly.
Yes, I do.
And I think that makes a difference for this offense. They were running it much better in the preseason, I thought, than they had been last year, by the end of the season last year. And Trevor has been able to step up into the pocket. That, to me, is the most important part of it.
Able and willing. That's part of it as well.
Because he's not getting whacked all the time.
Correct. But to me, the biggest part of the improvement in the interior offensive line is just that Ezra Cleveland seems like he's getting ready to have his best season.
They raved about the way he came back in the spring and just attacked it and became that more physical guy that they wanted to see and worked his rear end off. And really, like, the thought was they drafted Milam. Boop, we're just going to throw him right in there. He'll be our left guard.
We all thought.
And Cleveland just was fantastic for them from the beginning to the end. They loved what they got out of Cleveland.
Which is great because they didn't go with their preconceived notion. And Ezra Cleveland, we all thought was the most susceptible to getting replaced out of the 5 that ended up starting. And we thought McCary might have been the safest based on the contract. And he was the one that it took the longest to cement his spot, right? So they were like, all right, this is what we think. But now let's see what the reality is when we get them all in there. All right, more from James Gladstone coming up next here. Continue on with Mike DiRocco of ESPN. Your question of the day poll out there is going heavily towards Trevor Lawrence. We gave you 4 guys. Which one's most likely to have their career season to date, best career season to date? Trevor, Etienne, Trayvon, or Tyson Campbell? You can vote on that at MD_1010XL. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Fall is here. The air is crisp. Football is on, and the perfect backyard atmosphere starts with a high-quality fireplace from CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Hey, it's Joe C. Imagine nights by the fire, cheering on your team, surrounded by friends and family. CSS can transform your outdoor space into the ultimate game day destination. Stylish, warm, and built for memories. With several wood, gas, and electric options, let CSS make your backyard the best seat in the house. Visit CSSFireplaces.com.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% and homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner. With honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Frank Franzi here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in 1996? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle & Sons Fencing. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821. That's 904-356-4821. Or visit CoyleJax.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E, Jax.com. Coyle & Sons, keeping your business and home safe for nearly a century.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL is your home for Florida Gators football. Protected by the law firm of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Follow every Gators game on 1010XL. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Mike DeRocco is protected by Lee and Kate's Glass. New look, same great service on 1010XL.
Tony, give me some good Jaguar news, or at least decent Jaguar news on the injury front.
Yeah, a limited injury report out at practice today for the Jags. Monteric Brown and Wyatt Milam not at practice, but Cole Van Lanen was out there in the pads today.
How about that?
Yep.
So that's good. Again, one of these guys, like, is Cole Van Lanen going to go on short-term IR? We have no idea, right? Out for the preseason. Well, the preseason is technically over. D-Rock, do you think Cole Van Lanen can do enough to potentially be active against the Carolina Panthers?
My understanding from, earlier this week was that he probably wouldn't be available for the first week, but would be available for the second week.
What about Milam?
Probably weeks 3, 4.
Okay, so what are we looking at? Like a practice squad elevation for like Sal Wormley?
Possibly, yes.
Potentially, something like that?
First week, yes.
Okay. So 3, 4. That's a shame, man.
But, again, Van Lanen might be ready to go.
Well,
you just never know.
We don't know. We're not saying it's gospel or
It'll be interesting to see
anything like that.
I'm looking forward to the first injury report next Wednesday. Just to we'll get an idea of how long guys are going to be out. If guys aren't practicing, Van Lanen is a DNP. We'll see. Limited, that's a good sign.
But
obviously.
the fact that he's out there doing anything in pads
is good.
Is
good
excellent.
Sign, yeah. And Travis Hunter running around there, full speed, full ready to go.
Like that. All right, let's get to a few more thoughts from James Gladstone. Spoke yesterday after the roster was settled, and they've got 4 tailbacks. We'll get Mike DeRocco's thoughts on this position group here in a moment, but James Gladstone says they are confident in all of them.
Pretty juiced up about the fact that we got 4 running backs who we feel very confident in. Obviously, as you think about what Liam deployed in Tampa Bay, it was a committee approach, and we look forward to bringing that to life here in Jacksonville, and making sure that everybody gets the ops that they deserve in a way that contributes to a successful outcome for us. But each of those guys has a role right here and now, and that'll continue to shape itself over the course of the season. And obviously, knowing we're going to run the ball, the idea of attrition isn't a stretch to think shows itself, and the fact that we have 4 guys that we feel confident in, trust in, is a really good thing. So excited about where it's at, excited to see where it goes.
All right, first of all, when you say running back by committee, the fantasy football people, they have the phrase, the dreaded running back by committee right in front of it. But in terms of the Jags, who cares, right? Win football games. Now, Liam Cohen said last week, Mike, that it's going to be difficult to have 4 of these tailbacks up on game day. Do you think that's changed at all based on what you've seen of the final composition of the 53-man roster?
No. It will be difficult, but there may be weeks that they want to do that. Because
week 1, if there's one who sits, who's likely the one who's not getting a uniform?
I think it would either be Tank or Tootin, I would think.
It's interesting, right? Because most people tell you who's got by the end of the season who's going to be the running back to keep an eye on. It's Tootin. Right?
Home run ability. I love speed, home run ability.
Yet, I don't disagree with you that, and look, it could be LaQuint Allen.
But here's the thing. They really like Tank as a kickoff returner. So that goes into it. So most likely, if you're saying to me, that's a play now. It's not like a kickoff return. There's actual potential to make plays on that, not like last year. So that's a part that goes in. I mean, you can't sit there and rave about the guy as the best pass blocking back we've got from the moment you drafted him and then put him on the bench.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's Tank or Tootin.
But Tootin could be the most complete back that they have.
Yeah, that's the argument. There's
speed, power,
and that's
quickness.
The argument to play all of them, to keep them all active.
It's going to be fascinating to see.
Maybe you don't keep one of those
90
defensive
minutes before
tackles.
kickoff.
You know what I mean? Maybe you go short one of those defensive tackles. Travis Hunter gives you a little bit of flexibility there.
I think Austin Johnson's a game day inactive for week 1. Assuming everybody's healthy, right?
Right.
And one of the offensive linemen will be one of those guys, at least one of those undrafted free agent defensive ends, Tone, and then maybe both of them. And then it's 1 or 2 other spots. Could it be running back? Yes. Could it be something else?
It'll be interesting to see how they do the math on that.
Because I can't see with these 5 receivers, Tony, that any of them don't have a jersey. You don't give a draft pick for Tim Patrick not to be active on game day.
Right.
Like he fills a role that nobody else quite does for this team. So, okay, well, you can't fill it on the bench, right?
Unless
Parker
it's just
Washington's
not up
gonna
to
be
speed
active.
on what they want him to do after a week in town. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. I think he's
I doubt it.
Been around,
right? Like I think he's going to be active for Week 1 against Carolina, but that it's still to be seen, and it is difficult to figure out how you keep all 4 running backs active. I think they would like to.
Yeah,
as much as they could, they would like to keep all 4.
You got to be careful not to have tells, though. Right? It can't be like, okay, LaQuinn Allen's in the game. That means they're definitely only in 2-minute drill situation. Now, in a 2-minute drill, know they're throwing anyway. But you know what I mean?
I think they look at him as the third down back guy. ETN as the starter, the guy that kind of gets the offense going a little bit. Really good in the screen game, too, by the way, he is. And then, Tootin and Tank. It's just where do you go with those two? I mean, they're not similar. They're not the same. I mean, Tootin's got that home run speed, and most of those other guys don't have that. So we'll see what happens that first week because they want to run the ball. And it wouldn't surprise me if they had all 4 of them active on game day and they made it a priority that they're going to run the damn ball.
Yeah.
We'll see if they're effective. We got a couple more from Gladstone. We'll see what we have time for when we come back. Get some final thoughts from Mike DiRocco, at least for now, as we head into the Labor Day weekend. But we'll have D-Rock back, of course, next Thursday before the NFL season kicks off as well. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for big number 1 Duval Ford. Look, you probably have that 3-day weekend coming up. Maybe you're in the market for a new vehicle. Why don't you swing by Cassett Avenue, swing into big number 1 Duval Ford. Check out their unbeatable selection of F-150s, Super Duties, Broncos. Find out about their transparent pricing, fast trade appraisals, and the no-pressure buying experience that comes with the home of Ford dealerships right here since 1916 in Jacksonville, and a service department that has to be seen to be believed. Online at DuvalFord.com. That's big number 1 Duval Ford.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Looking for your new favorite hangout this football season? Try Voodoo Brewing Company in the heart of San Marco. Locally owned and community focused, Voodoo Brewing serves up award-winning beers, scratch-made upscale pub fare, and laid-back vibes where everyone's welcome. For live music, trivia nights, and all the football action this season, make Voodoo Brewing Company Jacksonville your new favorite spot on San Marco Square.
Jaguars Today, Thursday.
Brought to you by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
No more climbing ladders or tree shopping or untangling lights, no way. Kuhn Flowers will take care of it for you this fall when you schedule their holiday home decorating team. Hot Flying Jacko here. Now's a good time to call on Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all this fall.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends, the cleaning freaks at Zero Res. Back to school special with those guys. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135 plus a free hallway and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of these huge savings.
Need or want cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Cancer Center offers on-site imaging and other diagnostic services. Early detection saves lives. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
1010XL, presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, final little stretch here with Jaguars Today. Mike Duraco in studio. Tom McManus will be in tomorrow. I will not. We're all off next Monday, and then it's game week.
Here we go.
Here we go, baby. Breakfast Bowl a week from today. Looking forward to breaking the stranglehold that Tony Smith has on the trophy. Might take that thing and smash 70s
Winnie the
honey.
Pooh the hell out of that thing.
I'd be for it. You know, even if it weren't me, I'd be for someone else winning the Poohing the hell out of this Breakfast Bowl other than Tony Smith. This
3 in a row for him?
3 in a row. Bro, it's disgusting.
Let's bring back Taylor.
It's disgusting.
She'll
we need a
knock
ringer.
it off.
We need somebody.
Yeah,
in here
she'll
to
knock
help
him
us
off
out.
the throne.
It's not us. All right, here we go. One more from James Gladstone, and we'll wrap it up with that today. Cut 13 here, Dylan. Just his excitement about this year's rookie class.
Extremely excited. Obviously, with the rookie class, it's always an interesting part here in the early portion of the season to see how they're going to be involved on the grass. And I think the fact that we got guys who are built to the right stuff, obviously feeling it out for the first time, they've made their dent, and they've all earned roles that are going to be meaningful to us over the course of this season. And obviously, I think that allowed us to move on from some of the guys that have been here for some years. And to those who many are saying goodbye to right now, we thank them for all the energy that they put into getting us to this point, because their presence here was felt, but really excited about the future explicitly when thinking about the rookie class in particular.
All right, let's do this, guys. Caleb Bransaw's down for the year. Disappointing. Take Travis Hunter out of the equation. Who are ranked the top 3 rookies in terms of impact for this team this year? The other guys are Wyatt Milam, Bashal Tutin, Jack Kaiser, Jalen McLeod, Ray Lane, Jonah Monheim, LaQuint Allen. Take the undrafted rookies at just the draft picks themselves, Tony. Who's number 1 on your list, do you suspect?
Tutin. Like, I think at some point he's going to be the most featured of the group of backs in the backfield. I'm not sure. Again, we've talked about it since he got drafted, basically. I'm not expecting that to be day one for Tutin, but I think it's going to happen at some point.
All right, give me a guy, D-Rock. If it's not Tutin, who is it? Who's the number 1 guy on your list? And if it is Tutin, that's fine, but who's next?
You said not him, but someone else, but if it's okay.
But I say
I
things
would,
like
I would
that all the
probably
time.
go LaQuint Allen.
I was kind of thinking about that right from the jump, right? But
it's
there's
close.
the potential for Tutin to be that guy.
But there's also the potential for him to be inactive.
That's true, right?
week.
But I'm with Tony. Like, if he were inactive for a month or whatever, but by mid-season he was your main guy, I think that's more impactful than your third down back for 17 games.
I think their expectations for Tutin is what makes it hard for them to not have 4 running backs active. right? Like, I think they want to know what it looks like with him early, right? They saw him in the preseason when he was on the field. He certainly can dominate second and third team defenders in the National Football League. I think they need to know, can he do that against the guys in the league? And once he shows us that he can do that, that's when the doors really get slammed open for Tootin. But they have to be willing to have all four active to find out, the answer to that kind of question. So I expect early on the pressure is going to be on them to get all four active on game day is what I think they're going to be looking at doing.
Yeah, because I think if you're only going with 3 and you feel like you have to have Tootin active, then I would think that probably puts Tank on the bench. That would be my guess. Because you can't. You got to have that pass guy, pass pro guy. You need him. Got to have him because none of those other guys are really good at it.
Look, if there's an injury, this could end up being Wyatt Milam or Jonah Monheim. I think it's tough to see one of those guys at this point now winning a job, just winning it outright, unless somebody plays horrifically poorly. I think Ray Lane's going to have a big impact
on special teams.
This team.
Yes, without question. Yes.
Right? I mean, look, they were willing to move on from Daniel Thomas, and he is quite happy to be in Detroit if you follow him on social media. And I would be too. Like, he was never nice to get cut, but you land on one of the best teams in the National Football League. But I think Ray Lane is going to be a player that we're talking about, making a play every week on this team. Just whether it's just a open field tackle on a punt return or what have you, kickoff return coverage. I don't know if he's going to factor in much at all at the safety position this year. Wouldn't expect much, but I think there'll be, he's like, I'd expect more out of him than Kaiser, certainly than McLeod, because we haven't seen McLeod. We don't know what to expect out of him,
Right.
So
you probably won't see much of him anyway.
So D-Rock, overall, what you could put a letter grade on it if you want to, or just how do you feel about the way the Jaguars have conducted their team building this offseason? That's the longest pause we've ever had.
I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe. I think they still have a long way to go, okay, to get the roster to the point where they feel like we have, if you're Baselli and Gladstone and Cohen, you're sitting in the room, they can look at each other and go, we have one of the better rosters in the league, or we have a roster we think can be competitive in the AFC to win the AFC title. But I think they made a really good start, and they addressed the most problematic area on the team, which was the offensive line. That to me was fixing that interior was part number one. Still haven't done enough at defensive tackle. I think they've done a good job at receiver. I think they've done a good job at corner. Maybe a little bit more work to do at safety and a little bit more work to do at linebacker. But I think they've made really good progress, and it has the potential to be a significantly better roster this year than it was last year.
All right. With that, let's say hello to XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, Matt Hayes is here. Hello, Matt.
Hello, fellas. D-Rock, they could be 6-11 and be a much better team.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I think the same thing, actually.
So what's coming up on the show today?
We are going to talk Jags. We're going to talk college football. Begins tonight.
How about that?
The 25 games that will dictate the path to the CFP. We'll get into that and maybe some new teams in the CFP too, which I think everybody would be interested in. Not Vandy yet, Tony.
Well, I'm fully aware Vanderbilt's never going to be in the college football playoff. I can accept that reality.
I know that stadium's looking pretty good, man.
I know.
They're getting serious about football now.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, have a good show today. A lot of good stuff to watch this weekend if you're a college football fan, no doubt about it.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you, buddy. All right, Matt Hayes along with XL Primetime coming up. Our question of the day, poll results as of now, about 350 votes on this. 69% going with Trevor Lawrence, which is nice for him that people have that level of confidence in Trevor to have his best season to date.
It's a vote of confidence for Cohen. That's what that is.
Absolutely. It's a vote of yes, but if you didn't think Trevor had the goods to pull it off,
for sure,
I don't think that number is quite that high. 26% went with Trayvon.
That's who I would have gone with.
Yeah, I think so too, right? Like clearly, definitely the best season, even though I think Trevor will hit some career milestones. I think Trayvon could have a monster year this year, like that 15 kind of sack campaign. We'll see. And Travis Etienne and Tyson Campbell split about 5% between the two of them. So there you go. Hey, who knows? Nothing stopping them. Go out there and do it, D-Rock, once again, ESPN.com. What you got cooking for Jaguar fans over there?
Yeah, I got my big story next running Sunday, I think it is, whatever day the 31st is. Just the task they've given Liam Cohen, fix Trevor, figure out how to use Travis Hunter, and sort of the progress they've made, what steps he took, and the progress they feel like they've made to this point.
All right, we'll look for that as we always do. Great work. Appreciate you, and we'll save our appetites for a week from today with Mike DeRocco.
I've had that cereal and milk for a couple of weeks now.
Is that right?
Good.
The milk
yes.
especially. You got the milk back in May.
Chunky now.
Yummy. All right, that's lucky us. Everybody else, have a great weekend because I will not be here tomorrow. For Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark, and Mike DeRocco, I'm Mike Dempsey. Stick around for XL Primetime coming up next right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Maxwell House